Good Thursday morning, everybody. Welcome to the Get Your Horns Up show. I am Travis Gailey, joined by Orange Blood Zone, Aaron Little. Aaron, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Yeah, Thursday, always the best show of the week. We should have a fired up Kyle Umlang today. You know, he's got plenty of Jimbo ammunition that he is ready to unleash. So, yeah, I mean, this should be a good show for sure.
Yeah, when I sent him when I DM'd him yesterday to make sure he's coming on, I was like, all right, I'm looking forward to your Jimbo takes. And he just sent a laughing emoji. I was like, yeah. Hey, we're also joined by Nash from Texas, who loves talking to them horns. Nash, how you doing this morning, brother?
I'm doing all right. I'm very interested to see what Kyle has to say today for the this is a special week. I've been thinking, man, he's probably gonna have to put out a new book, just a Jimbo edition or something like that on the Kyle.
You know what? That's a damn good idea. We'll have to raise that up to him, see if he takes the bait. I don't know how much work he puts in those. I'm sure it's quite a bit. So
I mean, I think that's like his favorite genre is the Jimbo facts. Like he has a lot.
He's got 3 volumes. You may as well go for volume 4.
The Jimbo edition.
Do a Harry Potter collection. Eventually, he'll have all 7. All right, guys. Hey, listen, it is a great day. We got a lot going on. We're going to be making our picks today for the Texas-Iowa State game, not just the final score, but of course, you know the drill by now. We go through the different players, what we expect to see from them, how the game's going to flow. Looking forward to that. Always have fun with that. We've also got Aggie Fact Thursday coming up, like we just mentioned. Kyle Umlang will be joining us in the show later. But first, a couple of news and notes, headlines coming out of Austin. First off, congratulations to the volleyball team. 7th year in a row that they are Big 12 champions. Oh, and by the way, the team they defeated to lock up the Big 12 championship, none other than Iowa State. Just saying. Also, the basketball team, the men's basketball team played last night, took on Rice. It was an 80-64 drubbing. The leading scorer last night with 18 points, Tyrese Hunter. Wait a minute. Hunter transferred to Texas from where?
Iowa
State. That's right. Yeah. There's a theme forming here, fellas. I'm just saying. 2 more quick notes, by the way. T'Vondre Sweat, congratulations to him. He's one of 7 semifinalists for the Outland Trophy Award, which goes to the best interior offensive or defensive lineman. One of those other finalists is Cooper Beebe, the Kansas State offensive guard, who T'Vondre Sweat kind of dominated in that game. So, you know, hopefully the Outland people pull up that game tape. And finally, also congratulations to Byron Murphy, who got his Senior Bowl invite. Guys, I'm telling you right now, Byron Murphy he's an athletic freak. He is going to make a lot of money in Mobile, Alabama when he goes to the Senior Bowl. The coaches and GMs are just going to absolutely love that guy. So Byron Murphy, T'Vondre Sweat, they're going to be gone soon. They're going to make a ton of money in the NFL. But we got them for 3 more weeks at least, potentially 4. So enjoy them while they last. Guys, any reaction to the news and notes?
There's more. Yeah, I was going to say there's more people that we need to enjoy, like Jade Barron. He's going to be another guy that's right there with them. But yeah, T'Vondre Sweat and Byron Murphy. This is something special. We may never see a defensive tackle tandem this good again. I mean, you don't get treated to this often.
It's rare. It is rare. Yeah, the last time rare that I know is Casey Hampton and Sean Rogers. I mean, that was good. Let me tell you, you guys weren't around for that, but trust me, those dudes were monsters, and they were a lot of fun to watch.
And there's a chance in 10 years we could be looking back and going, yeah, these guys they're better than Casey Hampton, Sean Rogers. I'm talking about like NFL career.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
You could very well look up in 7 years and be like, wow, Byron Murphy, yeah, he's had a good NFL career. T'Vondre Sweat's had a very good NFL career.
What could make that happen? Casey Hampton, first off, had a tremendous NFL
career. No, he did.
But Sean Rogers had the injuries. So if Sweat and Murphy stay healthy, yeah, they very well could have a better NFL career as a duo than the Hampton-Rogers duo. No doubt.
Yeah, I'm just saying they could play well enough where it's not an outlandish take to say.
No, it's not an outlandish take at all. I'm with you. I understand. I hear you.
They definitely been very fun to watch. A lot of news on a Wednesday yesterday. We also had the big basketball commit, 2024 5-star guard Trey Johnson
Absolutely.
signs with Texas. He's just, according to Keenan Womack, just an awesome shooter, guy that can really score. He's going to be one and done, but I mean, it's going to be fun to have a legit scorer that's like in the building next year. So that'll be a lot of fun for next year's team. The Tyrese Hunter stuff. I remember when Tyrese Hunter came over from Iowa State. That was like the first time that like the brand new NCAA with the portal and with NIL. That's like the first time it really like struck me when I was like, wow, that would suck to be Iowa State. They got this awesome freshman guard who comes in and just tears it up in the Big 12 as a freshman. And then you have big old Texas just comes in, pays some money, and takes him via the transfer portal. And just like that, he's gone. That just like blew my mind. It was just like, all right, here we go. This is free agency every single offseason. So the Tyrese Hunter one was actually like the first time when I was just like, oh man, this is definitely going to change things.
Well, I don't feel bad for Iowa State, honestly. I'm good with it. It would suck if I were an Iowa State fan in general, but it would suck, especially seeing someone like him go to a bigger and better school. But yeah, after hearing all of the smack talk coming out of Ames this week, who knew it was Iowa and Texas as far as their rivals are concerned? Did you guys know we were their rivals? I had no idea.
It's always someone in Texas. I've said this before. Like I went to college in Arkansas, and I had no idea that Arkansas fans like really hated Texas. And then apparently, like, Arkansas fans hate Texas. So then I've got to fight
that's
that.
That's a whole other thing. That's a whole
Arkansas for me is right there with OU and A&M as far as Texas's true rivals. It's legit, and you're going to see it in the SEC. I'm excited for you guys to get to finally really experience what that is like on a year in and year out basis.
The hate is also more one sided. Arkansas fans very much hate Texas fans far more. Like it's honestly it got to be a lot more like A&M versus Texas at the end, where it was just like a more like annoying, like little pesky, like swat them off, and every now and then they might come up and bite you and nip you and be a pain in the ass. But yeah, for the most part, they were the 2000s. They were not going to be we stopped playing in the 90s or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, we're handling them toward the end.
Man, I'm telling you, I know I sound like grandpa here, but guys, seriously, it used to always be like back in the Southwest Conference days, you would play OU, you would have that killer game, and it seemed like every freaking year the very next game was Arkansas, and it was another nut-busting, grinding, just tough game. And yeah, you're right. The hatred is way more one-sided. Like they hate Texas more than Texas hates Arkansas. But there's a reason why, Arkansas makes it into the Texas chance, to give them hell, make them eat poop. That comes from Arkansas. So, I mean, it's there. It's there. You'll see the rekindling. I'm excited about Texas when it moves into the SEC. This is one of the few realignments that actually renews rivalries, right? Texas gets back A&M, they get back Arkansas. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, we get back the only rivals that we've ever had.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's for so long. It's been just to sit there and watch all these other teams have just these amazing rivalry weekends, and just they play 2 to 3 rivalries and it matters every single time. But it's just like I'm not. For years, I would have to try and either convince myself or just be like, "Yeah, no, this ain't happen." Texas versus Baylor. That's not a Thanksgiving Day rivalry matchup that I want to.
Sorry, Baylor.
Texas Tech.
Sorry, TCU. Sorry, Tech. Yep, I'm with you. You guys just don't match up.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I only have so much energy to hate schools. Like, I put so much hate towards A&M and Oklahoma. I just don't know, like, how much energy I'm going to have left to muster up, like, energy versus, like, 7-5 Arkansas. But I don't know. Maybe one day we'll see what happens.
What? You mean you don't save up all your hate for Iowa State? We're their biggest rival outside of the Hawkeyes. No, Come on.
Yeah. That's a great example.
Look, when it comes to like Thanksgiving Day football, you got Texas. Like it's especially with my family. Half of them are Aggies. Well, really, on my mom's side, it's a lot more lopsided. But that was always fun. I was just like this little smug little kid going over. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get some good food. I'm gonna watch the Texas Longhorns whoop up on the A&M, and like because every year the A&M might have like a good player or two, and people they start getting a little too confident. I'm like, okay, calm down now.
Yeah.
Just go back for seconds, and let's wait a couple quarters, and then I'll be my normal smug self.
All right, damn it! Now I'm excited for Thanksgiving dinner too.
I can't wait.
I love it as one.
Well, I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about A&M, the football.
No. I meant just in general. Thanksgiving, food. The food is my favorite. Football and family. Food, football, and family. What? How could?
Look, just make the game on Thanksgiving. Do it right. Don't screw this up.
I don't know that it'd be Thanksgiving Day though. I think they're going to still probably reserve that for the Egg Bowl with Mississippi State. I'm guessing, but it will be Thanksgiving weekend.
I don't know.
This rivalry puts the Egg Bowl to no.
It absolutely does, but it's the SEC, so
they're not going to want to get. I mean, they're going to want ratings.
Yeah, they're going to want
A&M game. You're not going to get it on Thursday.
Yeah,
NFL
but then you're going up
against.
But you're still going up against the NFL too.
They're not going to want to waste the game. Daddy's home, baby.
I'm just saying, I don't think it's going to be on Thanksgiving Day. It'll be Thanksgiving weekend, but not that.
It'll be Friday. They'll put it on Friday, I think.
Probably. You're right. Hey, guys, the Specs chat line is up and running. Good morning to Benny. Benny, we're about to get to those predictions. Hang tight. Coming up very next. We just got to say hi to a few other people, like Sandman, who got his horns up, already got his score prediction in. Sandman, don't forget, we've got a chance for you to win a free Jonathan Brooks autographed jersey, compliments of Elite Sports memorabilia. If you do those score predictions later, we're going to tell you how to win that. Good morning to Lewis Gaines in the house with his horns up from Carthage. Love it. Love to see you guys here. Good morning to Colton as well, and the longest horn, and the guy with the best name in the chat so far, Travis Jones. Love it. Just saying. He's got his horns up. Travis, love it. Texas Mama, morning. Happy Thursday. Good morning to you, Texas Mama. We appreciate you coming in and joining the show. Ryan Thompson is in the house. Jaime Gutierrez is in the house. Ben G is in the house. And no, Murphy is not a senior, Ben G. He is a junior, but they've changed the rules last week that they will now allow juniors and all draft eligible players to play in the Senior Bowl and I think the Shrine Bowl as well. So Murphy got his invite. He's going to be there. It's exciting. I'm telling you, he's going to make a lot of money at the Senior Bowl. I'm looking forward to the Senior Bowl too. Don't want to lose. We still have football games left to watch though. That's the best part about all this, including, by the way, Sandman chiming in. Our rivals are OU, Aggie, and Piggies. Absolutely. It's the Iowa State. Sorry, Iowa State. Texas is not your rival. And by the way, Iowa State, what are you doing? Like, you had years and years and years in the Big Eight. You don't have more rivalries with like Kansas State or Kansas or OU or, I mean, Texas, really? Why? It makes no sense. I'm just saying. All right, guys, it's time to get to those picks. Let's start it off, as we always do, by the way. Texas, Iowa State, on the road in Ames at night. It's senior night in Ames. They're sending out their seniors. I'm sure you guys have seen on social media the guard talking about the offensive guard for Iowa State, talking smack, saying how they've got a thing or two ready for UT. It's a 7.5 point spread, over under 46.5. Let's start with Quinn Ewers. Aaron, what you got for Quinn Ewers coming into Saturday?
Yeah, this is a tough one just because we don't know about his health. I mean, obviously we know they say he's healthy. We know he's going to play. We know he's not really in danger out there. He didn't take any hits last week. He made sure not to take any hits last week. There were a few times where he got rid of the ball quicker than what he had been doing earlier in the year, where he would hang in the pocket and he would actually take a hit. So he was protecting himself, which was definitely the smart thing to do. This is not criticism. This is just an observation that he was being careful not getting hit. There were some throws that were kind of scary. It's just hard to make these predictions and outline the game as a whole when we don't know if this dude is 75% or 95% because it makes a big difference. I'm going 24 for 31 for 310 and 2 touchdowns. That might be a little high. I was checking out the lines on different betting sites this morning. They're pretty conservative on Texas kind of throughout the whole way. So I'm a little bit over those, but yeah, I think he can have a good day. I think Mitchell and Worthy and Sanders are really clicking right now, but it's not going to be an easy one. And if he's not healthy, then he's not going to get to these numbers. So I'm kind of banking on him feeling better than he did last weekend.
Yeah, you mentioned that, by the way, and last week going into the game, Orange Bloods said sources told Orange Bloods that Quinn was 85%. And in my head, I was still thinking, take 20% off that. You know what I mean? Like, just, even the 85 was overrated. Maybe he's 85 this week after another week of recovery and therapy. Nash, how about you? What do you see coming for Quinn this week?
Honestly, I'm going to be sticking with my kind of pretty bullish predictions that I have for Texas this week, but this is certainly a game where it could go. I think it's just one or the other. Texas is either going to have a really great day individually with a lot of these players, or they're just going to kind of fall flat in the face. Because, like Aaron said, this is a good Iowa State secondary. So I've got Quinn going 29 of 36, 380 yards, 4 touchdowns. I think a lot of that is going to be yards after the catch with Worthy and potentially Sanders. And then it's some Jaden Blue. I know Cedric Baxter. You're probably going to start to see him get a lot more targets this week. He's a guy that he's displayed. Steve Sarkisian's displayed, especially looking at Alabama specifically. He's displayed a willingness to target Cedric Baxter out of the backfield. So I think that's going to help drive up Quinn's target. Not target numbers, but attempt numbers because it'll be lower, easier completions, but and also those are the things that'll kind of be easier to get Jaden Blue the ball in space.
All right, I love it. I'll be honest, I was really torn about Quinn in particular, and it had less to do with Andrea. That's a fair point, Aaron. It had more to do with the fact that, but after losing Brooks, my inclination is that Sark would finally just really take his foot off the brakes. They need to get rid of the all gas, no brakes moniker. I'm just saying. It's time. It's 2 years old, first off. It's time to move on. But he's only had one game where he really cut it loose. That was Alabama. He had the game script designed to really cut it loose. I kind of thought this would be the week. But on the other hand, if we're talking about game flow, Iowa State, by its very nature, limits how many plays teams run. So it's not like I think Texas had 70-something plays against TCU. You could probably cut that down to 50-something. So there's not going to be a ton of opportunity on offense. So I had to dial back my predictions for Quinn just a bit. I went with 21 of 25. I think he's going to have a very good day, and I could see him getting 300 yards. This is a good secondary. They're 35th in the country, 36th in the country, 35th in pass defense. And they're one of their DBs is leading the Big 12 in interceptions with 5. He's trending towards playing. He missed last week, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be back this week. Still, 300 yards for Quinn, 21 of 25, and 2 touchdowns. So again, it's tough to really predict how this is going to play out, but because I want them to go, so I want them to just really cut loose, and I'm not sure if they're going to be able to just based off.
It would be nice. Nash, I will say the lines on most of our prop sites are around 250 for Quinn. So if you believe in your 380, it's time to move.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a week that I'm really that confident in the prediction. This is like I said, I was bored. Like this was a borderline of another week where I was about to go and put a very conservative prediction in. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I just felt like this was. I just had more of a gut feeling on this one, so I just stuck with it.
I love it. Your gut says 380 yards for Quinn and 4 touchdowns. What does your gut say for Xavier Worthy then?
12 catches, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. This is I mean, 140 yards for Worthy should never really be. He really should have had a lot more 100-yard games at Texas. This is a guy that easily can get 140. He can get half that in one play. So just the yards after catch, I think that you're going to start to see that more with him. Get the ball in space to Worthy. And he's going to open up some more opportunities for, I think, Jordan Whittington is a real sleeper on potentially being a receiving star for Texas this week to fill in for the Brooks Boyd.
So that would be his season high mark, by the way, both in yardage and catches. Last week was the high he's had with 10 catches and 137. So you're saying he's going to get over that. Aaron, how about you? What do you see coming in for Xavier?
Yeah, I like the way he's been playing lately. I'm going 7 for 95 and a touchdown. I don't know if Iowa State's just going to get completely torched by one guy. I could see Quinn having to spread the ball this week to Adonai Mitchell, to Jordan Whittington, like Nash was talking about. They definitely could, because Worthy is going to be a matchup nightmare. They've got Iowa State has TJ Tampa on the other side. I don't know if he's like a shadow guy or if he's just going to be, where he is on the field, and then Texas can kind of dictate the matchups. But I think Iowa State has a good coaching staff. They have a smart secondary, so they're not just going to get torched by one guy for 4 quarters. But I don't know. I mean, Worthy, I say that, but at the same time, Worthy's kind of matchup proof. So it just takes 2 balls to the house to get there. So it'll be interesting to watch. But I'm going 7 for 95 and a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to that myself. I've got 8 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown. So we'll see. Worthy is obviously a phenomenal talent. I didn't expect him to have that kind of week that he had last week, but he did. I mean, the Ewers to Worthy connection, people mocked it last year, and with good reason. They were not on the same page last year. Those dudes are very much on the same page this year, so they're playing very well together. All right, it's CJ Baxter stepping into the starting role for Jonathan Brooks. This is a big loss. I mean, not just in the run game. As good as CJ Baxter has looked, and there's a possibility that if he's the guy, he will look even better with consistent carries. But as good as he's looked, Jonathan Brooks has just looked even better. But perhaps even more importantly, the loss of Brooks could be seen the most in pass protection. Brooks is a phenomenal blocker. Baxter's very good too. You've seen him put his head in there and man up guys, not just trying to, as Christian Jones said this week, he's not just trying to cut guys. He sticks his face in there and really, really takes on blockers. So, but that's going to be the biggest aspect of the game. But we can't really make predictions on his pass pro protection, right? So we gotta go with the running game predictions. CJ Baxter, Aaron, what do you see CJ doing?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a show out there that's making picks about running back pass protection. I don't want to watch it, but I'm going 21 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown. We've been talking about, I would love Texas to open it up and throw, but I don't know about Quinn's health. And then I don't know if this is the matchup. It would still be very beneficial to run the ball in this setting against this defense that does play a lot of 3-3-5 and can be run on a little bit if Texas can get the blocks up front. I think Baxter's going to play well. I mean, there's a lot of people questioning him. There's a lot of Jaden Blue talk. There's some Keelan Robinson talk. I think it's going to be Baxter. I think he is going to be the guy, and I think he has a chance to step up here. I'm going to go 21 for 91 and a touchdown, and I think he has a pretty nice game. So I don't know. I'm not as out on him as some people seem to be.
All right. I don't know why anyone would be out on CJ Baxter. He's looked good. He's starting to look like he's finally healthy again. Nash, what do you see Cedric doing?
You might be on mute.
Yeah, I'm on mute. I can understand where the people are coming with the Jaden Blue, because I'm just going to cut it to him and be honest. I think Jaden Blue has looked far more impressive in the carries that he's had. He's displayed. It's just Cedric Baxter is a very talented running back. He's a very talented football player. But right now, it's very much he gets the ball and he's going. And it's the holes there, the holes not. But he's still going to go. Jaden Blue has showed a little bit of that, that vision. But all this being said, I still think C.J. Baxter's going to have a really nice day. Steve Sarkisian's going to run the football.
Yeah.
He's going to pound the football. Whether people I know people are sitting there, and I even said it in a video. I was like, maybe Jonathan Brooks, maybe this will stop tempting Steve Sarkisian to run the football. No, he's going to run the football. And I think Cedric Baxter and Jaden Blue having success running the football, I think that's going to entice him even more to do it. But 16 carries, 75 yards. I think that's still one heck of a day for CJ Baxter. I think he get a little bit more yardage, but also gets a touchdown.
I like it. I do think you guys are right. We are going to see Jaden Blue more. We may even see Keelan Robinson more, although he's got such a unique role. He's not outside of the Alamo Bowl, which was really necessitated by the fact that Bijan and Roschon had gone and Jonathan Brooks was recovering from surgery. Outside of the Alamo Bowl, he's not going to be somebody that you're going to hand the ball to and ask to run up the middle a lot. He's a space guy. He's a satellite player.
He reminds me of like a scalpel for a surgeon. He's a very you bust him out when you're trying to be very surgical and you want to be there's a precise play that you see there's something that you see.
Yeah, exactly. And he's sharp and good.
Yeah, he's incredibly football smart.
Yeah, he really is. Which is why he does so great on special teams.
Well, I mean, the people need to also realize when you're looking at Keelan Robinson, that is probably Steve Sarkisian's most trusted player on Texas. That is the guy that, whether it's a coach or a player, he has been with Steve Sarkisian the longest. I think it was since 2019 or 2018 that he's been with Sark. So this is almost like a Bo Nix level dude for him.
I love it. I mean, that's a long time. Coach Flood's been with them longer, right? Because they came together from the Falcons to Alabama, but that's longer than most. That's longer than most for sure. Hey, listen, I think C.J. Baxter's going to get plenty of carries. I've got him with 18 carries, which is obviously going to lead the pack, and 80 yards. I think Iowa State's a pretty good defense. They're not great. They're not the Iowa State of old, but they are still pretty good. So I'm dialing it down to more like 4.5 yards per carry for Cedric Baxter. So that's 18 carries, 80 yards, and a touchdown. By the way, this is going to be a big game for the offensive line. And there is none other bigger on the offensive line than Kelvin Banks. Kelvin Banks is the newest member of the Elite Sports Memorabilia family, who, of course, is the sponsor for our show. So we thank them for that. Now is the time for you to step up and get on board with some Kelvin Banks autographed memorabilia just ahead of Christmas. His signing is coming up in December, so you have a chance to pre-order, which what the awesome thing about pre-ordering means is not only can you make sure that you get merchandise delivered to your house just in time for the holidays, it also means you get a chance to get an inscription if you want. If you want Kelvin Banks to say, hey, get your horns up, Nash, hook 'em, Kelvin Banks, you can do that. It's $25 upcharge. There is a one upcharge, but seriously, $25 for an inscription is nothing. And after his signing is done, that goes away. It's still very cool to get a Kelvin Banks autographed jersey at that point, but you won't be able to get the personalized inscription like you can now. So this is a fantastic deal. Whip out your phone, scan the QR code. He's also got DJ Campbell in the house, by the way. If you love offensive line play, DJ Campbell is another member of the ESM family. That guy is playing phenomenal football this year. DJ Campbell has been growing each week. In fact, to the point, by the way, the offensive line hasn't given up a sack the last 2 weeks. I think they very well could continue that streak this week. We'll see. We'll see what Iowa State's able to do putting on pressure. But this unit is getting better week in and week out, and it's led, of course, by their star, Kelvin Banks.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a week where on paper it should be a matchup where Quinn Ewers, I mean, he could sit back there and he could knit himself a sweater if he wanted to. He's going to have that much time back there.
And if that's the case, then your gut saying 380 yards for Quinn is probably going to be closer than what Aaron.
I mean, they haven't been sacking the quarterback often.
They don't. And you're right. They don't get to the QB very often.
And unfortunately for them, our tackles, mainly that guy right there, is him and Christian Jones.
Yeah.
You want to complain about the 5 stars? Okay, well, hey, you got a 5-star coming right at you.
Yep. Oh, and by the way, Christian Jones has a 5-star behind him who also showed out when he played against Kansas State, filled in for Christian. So just saying, this offensive line looks great. Guys, seriously, do yourself a favor. Jump on this now. The inscription thing alone makes it worth the while. But again, there's Jonathan Brooks gear available. You know, he's still very much in demand. ESM did I talked to Brandon yesterday. ESM did a kind of a promotion to help Jonathan Brooks's family out while he's recovering. It was so popular. He's like, hold off on promoting that because I don't know how much gear I have left. So he's got to go back and check the inventory that it was that popular. A lot of people stepping up to help out Jonathan Brooks. We appreciate that sincerely. And we appreciate you checking out some Kelvin Banks and other ESM gear. We also appreciate it if you hit the like button, by the way. If you love what the offensive line has been doing and you want to see Quinn be able to knit a jersey in the backfield this week, smash that like button. Just
a lot of likes yesterday.
Yeah, I love that. A lot of likes that are not held on a condition.
People stepped up.
Love that. By the way, I know we have 2 super chats in the house, Jay Lee and Michael Acosta. Hang with us. We're going to get to that. We'll get there. Well, we got to keep going with our picks right now. First touchdown of the game. Who do you guys? Let's try to move through these a little quickly. Who do you have for the first touchdown of the game, Aaron?
Yeah, I've got Worthy. I think they're able to hit him from like 30 yards out. So, yeah, I mean, I got him with a touchdown earlier. I don't really have a fancy story to tell here. I'm just going to go with Xavier Worthy. Hope I'm right. I feel like I haven't hit one in a very long time.
All right, Nash, how about you?
Yeah, I feel like it's been a while since I've hit this one, but I'm just gonna stick with the safe bet, Adonai Mitchell. Look, if there's a safe bet for predicting anything touchdown related, it is Adonai Mitchell. So you know what, I'm sticking with him.
It is the low hanging fruit, and
it's way too low. Like but you know what, I'm gonna take it.
I don't blame you. I think I did it last week too, by the way, where I picked A.D. Mitchell, and lo and behold, he was the first to score. I'm going C.J. Baxter this week, though. I think they're going to get into the red zone and they're going to try and prove something, and they're going to hand the ball off to CJ. So we'll see. Hey, listen, we've got our final score predictions coming up. We're going to save those now until after we talk with Kyle, who's coming up next. But first, I got to tell you, if you saw the comments from Iowa State's guard talking smack about Texas and the rivalry and sending them out, it just really irritated and ground your gears. You know what? You need to relax. Take the edge off. And the best way to do that, I found, for me, the best way to take the edge off is a nice cocktail. Personally, I love an old-fashioned, love a Godfather. Godfather's my favorite, especially if I've got Balvenie and I'm running low. In fact, I just ran out of Amaretto to make the Godfather, which means I've got to hit up Specs. And, of course, it's easy to find. They're all over the state. It's a Texas born and bred company, so there's one right next to you, I promise you. Or you could be like me, just check out Specs online or the Specs app. It can be delivered to your house. And for someone who's lazy, what's better than delivery?
No matter what you're needing, Specs same-day delivery can save the day with our Specs app or online shopping. From world-class wines to hard-to-find spirits and craft beers to gourmet foods, delicious snacks, and spectacular sweets. It's Specs. Cheers to savings.
It's that time of week. Kyle Umlang joining us for Aggie Fact Thursday. Kyle, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. It is Thursday, my favorite day of the week. And poor Jimbo.
You can't feel bad for him. I mean, it is actually impossible to feel bad for a man getting paid millions of dollars to not work. But I
feel bad for myself mostly, just because he made such good Aggie facts. It's a shame. Wasted talent. He's gone before his prime of Aggie facts.
I'm realizing Jimbo did it right. Okay, the way to do this was he convinced the Aggies 100% that this was it. I'm the guy, right? He played right into it. You can looking back at it, it's like, okay, yeah, he was never fully on board, right? He was just like sitting there doing the little saw dances with them, trying to, just goose up their ego a little bit so that he could get that nice extension in. And him and Sexton, man, they got Legal bank robbery is what's been happening right in front of us.
Yeah. Okay. So the Jimbo Fisher era is officially over, and 117, 120 million was what he ended up getting paid through all of it. And what came out of it, like, let's see what they got out of it. 0 national titles, 0 college football playoff appearances, 0 conference titles, 0 division titles, 0 10-win seasons, 0 wins versus ranked opponents on the road, 0 ranked finishes in his last 4 full seasons, and a worse record than Kevin Sumlin. That is the way to go out.
The number one thing I remember is just like the emergency press conference that he called after Nick Saban roasted him. That's like, and it's just like completely off the field, like shenanigans. Like not one thing on the field was like, man, this guy really has it together.
Right.
Hey, Nash had an idea earlier today, Kyle, that I think is a good one. You're going to need a 4th volume of just Jimbo facts.
the Jimbo edition.
The Jimbo edition of Aggie
Yes,
Facts.
the Jimbo edition, volume 4, the Jimbo edition. It needs to happen. I mean, like, because there's way too many. I mean, I'm sure you probably, I don't know this off the top of my head, but I'm sure you already have it. How much with his total number? What have they paid for per win? What's the number?
Yeah, I had that. But while I get that, I just wanted to say I don't think people really comprehend how big of a buyout this is.
Oh, I can comprehend it. I can comprehend it.
The previous record before Jimbo was 21.5 million. The top 4 biggest college football buyouts, not Jimbo, equal 73.9 million. He got 75 million. His was bigger than the top 4 previous biggest college football buyouts in history. It's insane that he got away with this.
And it's like,
well, you look up that
swindling. It really is like just up there with any bank robberies or like any top criminals in the world. Like this, put them on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
it's incredible. Kyle, this really is going to make your life harder. Like I feel like this was your bread and butter. Like this was your go-to.
It was guaranteed hits after hits every week with Jimbo, and now I'm like, man, what if they get someone who's actually decent? Like, what am I gonna do?
Well, along those lines, Kyle, Jay the activist hit us up with a super chat for $1.99. We love it. Thank you, Jay. Saying, please hire Dabo.
Oh, I'd love.
Oh yeah, I would be okay with that.
Oh.
And
that would be the most. That'd be the most anti. Like going from Jimbo Fisher to Dabo Sweeney with how like they're with the stance on recruiting. That would just be hilarious.
It would make portal recruiting easier for Texas if they're not competing with Aggies.
For those who are concerned with my lighting, I am in my dark, dingy basement, and I'm using my work computer, which has a broken camera. I'm just hobbling all this together right now for y'all. So this is the best it gets, sadly, in my basement.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
For Nash, the Jimbo Fisher ROI, $2.6 million per win, which is a 338% increase than Kevin Sumlin's price per win. A 4.35 million per conference win, which is a 211% increase from Kevin Sumlin, and 11.75 million per ranked win, which is a 370% increase from Kevin Sumlin's ROI.
And then how many millions do they pay for their SEC wins? Oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah, 4.35.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, I mean,
no, I was talking about.
I'll turn my
SEC
phone
titles.
flashlight since everyone is so wanting to see me. Here, is that much better, everyone? This is what you're missing.
Maybe a little.
Yeah, no, I meant to say SEC titles, not SEC wins.
Honest to God, it's like the most Aggie thing ever. And I've been reading all these articles talking about who they're going to hire and everything, and they keep mentioning how, like, Aggie has all the resources in the world to be right there with Texas or A&M or whoever else. And in my head, I keep thinking, yeah, but they're still behind Texas in-state. They're still behind LSU in the regional recruiting. They're still behind OU probably when it comes to Texas kids. I mean, you're still like little brother. It's hard to win when you're little brother.
Well, and you're still in College Station at the end of the day. Like, it's going to take a lot of NIL to move that campus to Honolulu, which is what they need to do to get on Texas.
Unless you find a player who wants to major in animal husbandry, it's real hard to recruit.
I mean, look, Travis, you're sandwiched right in between Texas and LSU. It's like
Yeah.
it's a hard get, and you know they even had the talent, and it doesn't matter. Nothing can break the 8-4 and 7-5 spirit that A&M will forever keep.
Kyle, we're talking about Jimbo. We're talking about the Aggie facts. Staying along the lines of like who's going to make your life the easiest when you wake up on a Thursday morning.
Yeah.
And you're like, I need to roast an A&M coach. Give me like off the top of your head, who are the top 3 funniest coaches they could hire and like the ones you would handpick like with someone in your profession?
Urban Meyer, simply because I know to get him they would probably double Jimbo's contract. He's beyond caring about anything right now. So if he took the job, it would simply be for a paycheck, and he would not care what happens and just lose and leave. He'd fake a heart attack into this end of a 5-7 season and be done. That would be hilarious. Also, Dabo, because Dabo's washed up. He's past his prime. He doesn't like NIL. He doesn't like the transfer portal. He doesn't like any. He likes old school ways, which is kind of on the same lines as Jimbo. And A&M has a rich history of bringing in coaches that perform better at other schools. So, they hired Jimbo because of his national championship. They would pay Dabo double because he has 2 national championships. It doesn't equate to him bringing them one, but they would pay for that. So I got Dabo, Urban, and then I have no idea.
I kind of like Sandman's suggestions. Of
No. Petrino, upgrading, making him the head coach. That would be hilarious. Yes.
That would be great.
You just have the neck brace picture with the caption "Aggies don't lie, cheat, and steal," and then just
Art Briles in the chat. Art Briles would be great.
Farmer Freya, by the way, is surely going to be Ed Ogeron. I'm pretty sure that's who he's suggesting, and he also threw out Tom Herman.
No, Tom Herman's actually a good coach. I would not want Tom Herman to be in College Station because he would come out and beat the Longhorns but lose to everyone else. So I don't want that. No Tom Herman.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of, how about hiring the Houston coach? What's his name? Who used to be at West Virginia?
Dana Holgerson.
Yeah, Dana Holgerson. Just for the hair alone. I mean, and the Kingpin references alone. I'd love to see Dana Holgerson in Aggie land.
Kyle, do you have anyone you think they actually like should hire? Like if you were just actually like giving them like good advice, like you have someone that you're like, man, this guy would actually like probably kill it.
Yeah, Jeff Traylor. He's got all the Texas recruiting connections. He's doing great. The Oregon guy, what's his name? Lanning.
Lanning. I think he would be good.
Yeah. I actually don't want them to hire either of those guys. I want them to hire just a random person that is going to do bad. But firing him in the middle of the season and not having a clue who they're hiring is a bold move. We'll see how it pays out.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle, we've got, speaking of, does this put A&M on upset alert playing Abilene Christian this week? I mean.
Sorry, but Abilene Christian is so beyond what A&M's talent level. There's no way. Even without a coach, even on their third string quarterback, there's no way. Don't even put it out there. It's not even worth stressing about.
Even on the heels of a season where they lost to App State, it is
right.
Well, you get the dead cat bounce, right? Like you get the we saw it with the Raiders. Josh McDaniels gets canned, they go crazy. This is why they fired Jimbo. They said if we fire Jimbo, we're going to get 1 week of electric play out of our players. That way, we avoid the upset to Abilene Christian.
Right.
Like, this was the move the whole time.
Right. Yeah. This was written in the stars years ago. Had to be this way.
It was written in the stars as soon as they gave him the guaranteed contract to hire him. And I love that the buyout is more than the initial guaranteed contract.
No, the first initial contract, $75 million, was unheard of, all guaranteed. And then they upped it to $95 million just 2 years later. Only Aggies. Insane. I can't wait to see what their next contract is. I want it to be bigger.
This comment could not go unnoticed. A trailer in Aggie land just makes too much sense.
I like that.
Not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Kyle, what do you think of the game this week for Texas? Obviously, it's huge.
Yeah.
Keys to the game, predictions. What are your overall vibes heading into this one? The comments from the Iowa State guard.
Yeah, I mean, for Iowa State to have like surprised us and like caught us sleepwalking in this game would have been big for them, but to give us bulletin board material just days before the game, bad move. I wouldn't have done that because you got players like commenting on it and retweeting it and stuff like that. So that's amped them up. But this is a must-win, obviously, for the hopes of our season. But it clinches a spot in the Big 12 championship. Like all those weird tiebreaker rules, we can get through them all if we just win on Saturday. It doesn't matter about Tech at the end of the week because even with those tiebreakers, I think we still get in. So if we just win Saturday, we're in. So that should be the goal. It's going to be hard, though, because Ames, we've lost 3 of the last 4 in Ames. It's going to be colder than we're used to there. Probably windy. Maybe throwing a little rain to make it interesting. And then you got the refs on their bull stuff coming in. So we'll see. But I think it's going to be a classic Texas game, meaning like 17-7 at the half, final score like 27-24 Texas. It's going to be a heartbreaker, but we'll barely pull it off, and we'll pull it off. That
sounds about right. Hey, you are a numbers guy.
Yeah.
You mentioned the tiebreakers. Let's assume Texas does win and locks up a Big 12 championship. Who's the most likely, do you think, to face Texas in the Big 12 championship game?
Either Oklahoma State or Kansas State. If it depends on how they do, but it'll be one of them. I think Oklahoma's done. I think Kansas State. Wait, no, just us.
Yeah, so that everyone else has to rely on like what other teams do for the common opponent stuff. Yeah, it's nuts.
So I think if we win, we play Oklahoma State. I think if we win out, we play Oklahoma State. I think if we win Saturday but lose the next one, I think we play Kansas State. But also Kansas State has to keep winning. So it's very hairy.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get mixed up in any of that. I want to just get in.
I mean, I'm looking at a website right here that has it's like a calculator.
Oh yeah.
Based off of, but so if we need to win this weekend,
right?
This is a must win weekend. If we don't, we're going to be on the outside looking in.
Right, and I don't want to be in a 5-way tie and having to depend on how we did against a random.
And we as of right now, we will be missing out on that 5-way tie.
Yikes!
And right now, if Houston or BYU beats Oklahoma State, then as of right now, provided Oklahoma wins out, we would get to play Oklahoma again. So, if you want to see that again,
so there is hope.
Yeah, there is hope.
I put a tweet in my column, which is up on orangebloods.com now. If you're not a member, you should go check it out. Join, subscribe. What are you waiting for? But was somebody had tweeted out, there's a possibility if all the home teams win this week, then in the final week, if various things happen, including Texas losing, which would mean Texas lost back-to-back games, which none of us want to see that. But there's a possibility for an 8-way tie in atop the Big 12. I kind of want to see that just to see the 8-way tie.
That would be a good way to go out with an 8-way tie. God.
You gotta blow up the Big 12 at that point. Like go Pac-12 on steroids, just completely disintegrate it.
Right.
Kyle, any more Aggie facts you got lined up for today? I am curious. I am hungry on this Aggie Fact Thursday.
I don't have any ready to go, sadly. But I'll think of one for you. And I'll dedicate it to you, Aaron.
I appreciate that. My one last thing, Kyle, is the college football playoff stuff. There's a lot of fans like me. I'm a guy that's like, I'm going to worry about all the other schools. Like I'm worried about Texas, and then I'm watching these Florida State games. I'm watching these Washington games. And then there's another section that wants to win, that wants to be in the playoffs, obviously, but it's just like Texas just has to take care of their business. And if they don't do that, nothing else matters. I'm only focused on Texas. Where do you kind of stand? Like, do you have the energy to focus on Florida State, Oregon, Washington, or are you just locked in on Texas and then you'll check the college football playoff stuff later?
No, I'm all in on the college football playoff. All we have to do is win out to have a chance, but at least one of the top 6 schools needs to lose. And I've been watching those games involving them the last few weeks, and sadly, we've been the exact. Everyone's won, so we need Washington to get upset. We need.
Florida State.
Yeah, we need Florida. I think the biggest possibilities are Washington and Florida State, and they've come close several times. It's going to happen. We just got to watch the games, be patient, and make sure we win. And we'll be fine.
What the teams that, because I mean, you got Michigan and Ohio State. One of those two is guaranteed to lose a game. Between Florida State and Washington, there is like those two teams are on legit upset watch potentially.
The rest of the season.
Florida State more or less in the conference championship game, but still, I don't trust them at all.
Right.
That was not a good Miami team that they let hang right around next to them.
Yeah.
This is it would be such an anomaly to have that many undefeated teams at the end of the season. There should be some losses coming.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet,
and
right?
It's college football too. At the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had 4 undefeated teams in the playoffs.
We haven't. The most has been 3. Honestly, I think the outside of the first year we had 6 or 7 teams that were either 1 or 0 losses.
Yeah.
The most that we've had in the season is 5 teams with 1 or 0 losses at the end of the college football rankings. So things should start to
they'll start clearing themselves out. Like you said, Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, Washington rematch. Yep. Florida State's got to play Louisville in the ACC Conference Championship.
Tech's got to play Iowa State. we got to clear. Hey, we got to clear this hurdle. We're 1-3 names in the last 4.
I know. We just got to win Saturday, and everything else is fine. That's all.
All right, and you've got Texas winning 27-24. Is that right?
It's gonna be. I really hope they finally prove me wrong. But the last like 3 of the last 4 games have been by a score, and it's been scary. So I don't expect anything different this game.
Yeah. All right. Love it, Kyle. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
And start thinking about that Aggie Fact Thursday, Volume 4 Jimbo edition.
Yeah.
The Jimbo-nator.
Okay, y'all have a good one. See ya.
Kyle, thank you, brother. All right, that was good stuff. All right, hey, Kyle's got 27-24 for Texas. We've got a few. It's time for us to make our picks, but we've also got super chats coming in. Michael Acosta with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Michael, and thank you for being patient for us to get to this. I was saving it for our picks as well. $5 saying pre-guard prediction, the Iowa State guard again. If you missed it, he was saying that they've got a lot in store. Senior night, they're going to show Texas up, basically, right? So prior to that, Michael was saying 27-24 Texas, just like Kyle. All right. After that, he's going 38-24. He thinks the play
11-point trash talking. Wow.
Yeah. What do you think, guys? Are they gonna? Does that really matter to them? Are they gonna?
Well, I'm just wondering how that affects the offense's line, not the defense's line. The defense still giving up 24, but we're scoring 38.
That's a good point. I hadn't really thought of that. You got to think that one through, Michael. But we appreciate the $5.
Hey, look, the thought is there, 100%. I think
it is absolutely.
That's definitely one that you just gotta. You got to take the points that you added on Texas, and you just got to subtract it from the number that you had for Iowa State. Take that off the 24.
You're right. By the way, Jay Lee checking in $5 as well. Thank you, Jay. One of our most consistent super chat posters. We appreciate that, Jay, sincerely. Said after BYU, I predicted and asked if you all agreed that our remaining games would all be late fourth quarter games. You think that's not? Do you still think that's not the case? I don't remember how did we answer that. I don't honestly remember answering that.
Yeah, I mean, going forward, we're about to do our predictions like literally right after this. I think this game's going to be close in the fourth quarter. I don't think Tech. I think I'm probably going to be predicting a beatdown of Texas Tech if I had to guess. So I think we have one more close game left before we get to Arlington.
I mean, the smart money would be to say, yeah, we're in the close, because it does it does not matter if we're blowing these games out. Like this actually it makes me think back to Mark, who runs Occupy Left Field. We were back in left field, and he was talking about how he had somebody convince him that he's just bet Texas to win every single game, and he's like, I haven't been able to just relax in any of these games, and this is before the Kansas State one. And I'm like, I just remember I was like halftime. I'm like, wow, Mark finally gets to relax. Nope.
Sadly, yeah. I'm kind of like, if it hasn't happened yet, why would you think it's going to happen by this point? I mean, the team is who the team is, right? However, and we'll get to our final score predictions in a second, I'm actually the opposite of Aaron on this. I think Texas has an easier time with Iowa State than they do Texas Tech. And we'll get to that in just a second.
Well, and I also didn't answer the question. I think that I think we're going to have a fourth quarter cap in these next two games.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jay, for the super chat question. We do have two final predictions to get through real quickly. We're running out of time here, guys, but let's start with our one wild prediction that we do every week. Aaron, what you got?
Yeah, I think our Iowa State left guard gets ejected. I think he's going to get two unsportsmanlike penalties, one in the first quarter, one in the third. And I think he's gone. I think he's in the locker room making parlays for Sunday by the end of the game.
Do we want to make that any more specific? Is there a minute mark that you can put on the penalty?
No, I'm going to go first quarter and third quarter, but yeah, I think he's going to slap Trill Carter in the side of the head.
You know what?
If that happens, you're Nostradamus.
Extra points, by the way, for working in the gambling reference as well for the Iowa State gambling.
Hey, I made a reference yesterday, Travis. You got to go back and watch. It was pretty good.
I saw on Twitter. I missed the show, obviously, but I did see on Twitter you did an Office reference, and I was like, all right, pop culture coming from Aaron Little. Yay!
Even more yesterday.
I'm gonna have to go check that out. I love it.
You missed the Molotov cocktails.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I did miss those, actually. I'm happy to miss Molotov cocktails. Those are not ones I want. Hey, my one wild prediction. Oh, let's get to you, Nash. We didn't do your wild prediction. What do you got?
I kind of got two, and I'm going to hedge them here because I both think they're going to happen. But Jaden Blue is going to have a breakout game, and what that constitutes is I think that he's going to go around the 10 to 12 carry mark, and he's going to have probably anywhere between 60 and 100 yards. I think I'm very impressed with what I've seen from Jaden Blue, and I want to see more of it. And then also I think Texas is going to have two 100-yard receivers in this game. With Adonai Mitchell, there's no reason why. With the Adonai, JT, and X, there's no reason why we shouldn't every single game.
We should every single game.
Style points matter now, Sark.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. Texas should have 200-yard receivers every game. And whether it's Adonai Mitchell or Jatavian Sanders, I mean, the best way to attack these 3-5s are on the seams. I think this could be a JT Sanders game again. We'll see. My wild prediction is actually on the back end, on the defense. Texas holds Iowa State to under 200 yards passing, which would be a huge upset from what they've done the last couple of weeks. Texas now ranks 107th in the country, by the way, in pass defense, which, they've been tumbling down those rankings every week. They're now 107th. I'm predicting, and this is a wild one, they get back off the schneid. They get back on track. They hold Iowa State and Rocco Becht to under 200 yards passing.
That's extra wild coming from you, Travis, of all people. That's like extra wild points.
I know, because you know how much I hate the way the secondary has been playing. Yes. It's been bothering the hell out of me. But that should tell you, it's on to our final score predictions. That should tell you how I'm way more comfortable in this game than I have been on any of the past couple of games. Iowa State is an okay team, right? I mean, they beat the hell out of BYU, but BYU sucks. I know it's
I'm going to say they're a good team.
Provo. Iowa State's a good team, but they're not the kind of team, and they have a better pass offense than run offense this year, which is strange and unusual for Iowa State. Again, I love Rocco Becht, mostly because of his name, Rocco Becht. I mean, first he's Anthony Becht's son, so the Becht is kind of a cool name. And then anyone named Rocco has got to be tough, right? And he plays with it. He's a gritty player. But anytime you start talking about a player being gritty, that means they're not an all-star when it comes to their talent. So, I think Texas is going to win comfortably. I don't think Rocco can lead Iowa State to a lot of points. I just don't see it happening. And Texas has too much talent, even without Jonathan Brooks. I have the Horns winning 28-7. Aaron, what have you got?
Yeah, I'm pretty nervous. I just don't know how healthy Quinn is. It's just going to be tough to know. If he looked like Quinn early in the year, I'd be more confident in this game. I'm going Texas 24, Iowa State 21. I think the defense is able to make enough plays. I think the defense holds up in the red zone most of the night. I just think it's going to be a close game. I think Iowa State's going to be fired up, like big time. I think they're going to play pretty well. I think Texas is going to be able to match it from like an energy perspective, but I don't know. I have a lot of respect for this Iowa State coaching staff. I think the Iowa State secondary is going to make a few plays. I think at the end of the day, Quinn Ewers takes care of the football. Texas is able to run the ball enough, and then the red zone defense is able to give them a 24-21 win.
I love it. By the way, Nash, real quick before you get to it, Texas Mama, what the hell? I'm 9-1 on my Texas picks this year. There's no Travis Jinx when it comes to the Longhorns. I've been right there with them most of the way. So the only time I picked against them was Kansas State, and I got that on the spread, by the way. I got the points. So just saying, no Travis Jinx when it comes to the Horns. Nash, what have you got?
I'm just gonna stick with being bullish for Texas. I mean, my prop. This is the thing is my props of all my like individual player props. I've been pretty like spot on with those all year long, but when it gets down to the doing the final score, I'm missing that completely. And it's also one of these things where like I'm basing all my final score predictions off my player props. So like,
you got to go backwards.
The math isn't
down first. Yeah.
But I definitely could see this being a game like Aaron just said, 24-21. This is a very like I was very bullish on the Texas pass offense. Obviously, this is a very good pass defense. They're like top 10 in majority of the categories that you want to be top 10 in for a pass defense. But all that to say, I think Texas is going to win 38-13. We're going to hold them to a couple field goals and one touchdown. This is just a game where I think the athletes, we're going to have to out-athlete them, like just Xavier Worthy, like because it's a deal where when you start covering Worthy and you start putting too much attention on Worthy, okay, now you're leaving JT, now you're leaving Whittington, now you're leaving AD open. I think Whittington's going to have a good game, and then even more so, I think that these running backs, I think this is one of these a week where this means a lot more to the Texas team after losing Jonathan Brooks because the running backs are going to fill that void, and I think we're going to be just fine.
I love it. So Nash and I are the only two. We've each got 3-score victories for Texas. Aaron's got a close fourth quarter game, which is probably the smart way to go.
That's really a smart way to go.
I'm with you, Nash. This is, for once, I think Texas does have 5-star talent and 5-star culture. They've played with their food a little too much, but I think they get away from that this week. Listen, if you agree with me and Nash, you think Texas wins comfortably, hit that like button right now. If you agree with Aaron that it's going to be a close fourth quarter game, hit the like button in 3, 2, 1. Do it. All right. So we'll see who ends up being right. By the way, if you think Aaron's right and it is going to be a close game, you should also subscribe to the channel because there will be more predictions coming up on the show later today, including Prize Picks show. That comes up after Anwar's old-fashioned sports show. That comes up before House Divided with Jeff Ketchum and Chad Hastings. Of course, there's Football with Friends later and OB Outsiders Thursday night. OB Outsiders. There's a lot of great football talk coming up. Also, I see a lot of these score predictions in here. I know, Jay Lee, I know. You're down on the Horns. I get it. I understand. Save that score prediction for the comments section after the show. It's the only way you can win the Jonathan Brooks free autographed jersey compliments of ESM is to hit the like button. That's the first and easiest thing to do. And you probably already did it because you agree with me and Nash that it's going to be a big game, or you agree with Aaron that it's going to be a tight game. Either way, you hit the like button, right? So done and dusted. Second thing, subscribe to the channel. We just gave you a ton of reasons why you should do that anyway. And the final piece to winning that free autographed jersey from Elite Sports Memorabilia, Jonathan Brooks, is if you correctly predict the score of the game, the first person to correctly predict the score of the game in the comments section wins the jersey. This has been several weeks now. We've been offering up this Jonathan Brooks jersey. Nobody's won it yet. Let this be the week. Come on, guys. You can do it.
I'm taking matters into my own hand. I'm going on my personal account and I'm taking the jersey. Like, I've given the people long enough. Like, I'm going to go win this thing. Like, I'm not going to feel bad about it.
Oh, you got it like that, huh? You just I've been holding off on the correct score prediction, waiting until now, but you didn't do it, so I'm going to do it.
Well, hey, why? Oh man, I hope your prediction's wrong though. I really do. a 4-point win versus Iowa State. We need style points now. Come on.
I'm with you, Nash. I hope he's wrong too. Hey guys, seriously, do like this show for us. We appreciate you joining the show. We hope you're having a good time. I know the chat seems to be having a good time. Half the time, I think the chat isn't even listening to what we say. They're just chatting with each other. That's okay. We appreciate you coming on to do that. If you're watching this delayed, we appreciate that too. All of you who are watching this show, no matter when you're doing it or where, thank you so much for joining us. Hey, for Nash, who loves talking them horns, for Aaron, Orange Blood Zone extraordinaire, I am Travis Gailey. Have a fantastic Thursday.